You're not the boss of me. You are not the boss of me. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and I know if you've ever been around toddlers or, well, maybe even been a toddler, you remember that phrase, you're not the boss of me. It's a very common phrase, especially when you're young, because you don't want anybody to be in charge of you. You want to make all your own decisions. You want utter, true, total freedom and independence to do anything you want to. Or maybe you've heard the phrase coyote ugly. It's a phrase that refers to going on a date and coming home with someone who's less than attractive when you wake up the next morning without the beer goggles on. And you'd rather chew off your arm than to wake them up. That's where the phrase coyote ugly comes from, because a coyote genuinely will chew off its leg to get out of a trap. Yes, it would rather wander through life with 3 legs and freedom than 4 legs and be in a trap. See, that people forget that when we talk about politics, though. I opened this text of this message today with, who does the president answer to? A lot of people are under the impression that the president answers to the people. And while there is a lot of truth to that, the very beginning of our Declaration and our Constitution talk about we the people in order to form a better union. And so this is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people, a representative republic. We're not a democracy in its truest sense. We're not a totalitarianism. We're not anarchy. We're a representative republic, but our representative republic answers back to a set of founding documents, which for pretty close to 250 years have been pretty spot on as far as what to expect. Now, why do I bring this up in a brief leadership lesson? Because the leadership lesson of our government is a leadership lesson that should have impacted every household, every family, every company, large or small, every nonprofit organization and religious institution across the world, in my opinion. And that is that we as leaders should hold to a single higher standard than everybody else. A standard that once it's determined by those who make that decision, whether it's the board of elders, the board of deacons, or the founding board of a hospital, or the founding board of a company, that once those leaders have determined this is how this organization is going to operate. These are how the decisions will be made. This is how the organization will be run. This is how it will all be put together. This is the authority that people have, and these are the decisions that they have the authority to make. Once that's determined, then it's left alone. And the reason for that is people are corruptible. They can be bribed, they can be threatened, they can be cajoled, they can be manipulated, they can be persuaded, they can be held hostage to ideas of other people for finance sake, for the sake of their friends and loved ones. But see, once you've got that set of ideals that says this is the framework under which we will operate, it's really easy to operate within that framework. It's really easy to know what the parameters are and when you're out of line and when you're off base. And once you know what those rules are, it's pretty easy to follow them. Now, if you don't like those rules, there are mechanisms in place to change those rules, but the rules that we operate by in the United States, that Constitution of the United States, has been around for 250 years, and so far, it's been the strongest form of government in the history of recorded history. It has been the one that provided the most freedom to the most people, the most opportunity to the most people, the most liberty to the most people, compared to any other form of government in history. Look it up. Do your homework. Don't just trust what the teachers tell you, because some of them lie. I know that's not kosher to say, but it's true. Some of them have their own agenda, and they'll tell you what they want you to believe, even if what they believe isn't true. And yes, we have people who serve our country in Congress, who serve our country as business leaders, who have completely lost sight of the fact that we are a representative republic. We're not an oligarchy. We're not a totalitarianism. Our president doesn't make all the decisions all on his own. He's not allowed to do that. And he also doesn't answer to any one given group of people. He answers to, ultimately, the Constitution and we, the people. And so does everyone in Congress, from your elected local dog catcher to your elected local sheriff's department. They have signed a very similar oath and sworn to a very similar oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I know. I took the oath when I became a soldier in the United States Air Force. Another thing you might want to know is, to the best of my knowledge, that oath doesn't have an expiration date. To defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. See, there may be a time when you cross the line and you decide that your power is corrupted and it's your power to do with it as you wish. And in the moment that you're in contrary decision to the Constitution of the United States, you have violated that oath, and your office will go with it soon. Whoever you are, at whatever level. As a leader, I encourage you, I challenge you, look at the framework of your business operating standards. What core values do you operate under? What principles and policies determine every decision that you make? Do you have bylaws in your organization? Do you have a framework that says this is right, this is left, this is top, this is bottom, and we will stay within that? If you don't, you might want to get busy on that. And if you do, then ask yourself, am I operating within the core values established for myself and for my business from the very beginning? As a leader, if you will do that, you will find that the people around you, well, they follow the law of the picture. People do what people see. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.
Leadership team. If attitude is going to have a deep impact on your business and bottom line, make it a positive attitude with a positive impact. Visit jlorennorris.com/attitude hack